Today, I'm showing you how to crochet this half v-neck sweater in brown and cream. It is beginner friendly, stylish, and perfect if you love neutral tones. Let's get started. For this project, I'll be using the 3-ply yarn, this chunky yarn from Seal, and I'll be using 2 colors. We are going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, some stitch markers, and a 4.5mm hook. So we are going to chain 10, make a slip stitch, then you are going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there we have a chain of 10, and then you are going to form single crochets in each chain space. So we have our first row and we want to form a ribbed stitch, so we are going to turn our work, chain 1, and then form stitches on this back loop, single crochet, we are going to continue making the rib stitch until we have enough length for our back panel. So let us meet at the end. So that is the ribbed part that I made. It is of length 20 inches. Mine is 20 inches. Yours will be according to your size, and for this sweater I'm making a size large sweater, so the length is 20. We are going to get started with the rows, and for the rows we are going to put a stitch. For the very first row we are going to put a stitch in each row of the ribbed part. Now for this ribbed part we have, this is one row, and this is another row, another row, another row. So we are going to put a stitch in the first row, the second row, the third row, the fourth row, and you will be using the half double crochet stitch. So let us get started. So you chain 1, and this does not count as a stitch. Then you're going to yarn over, insert in the very first row, and pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over onto the second row. You have 3 loops on your hook, then pull through, yarn over, insert in the next row, 3 loops, and then you pull through. So we are going to do that for all the rows until we get to this end. So let us meet at the end. I'm almost getting to the end of the first row, just a few stitches remaining. Yarn over, insert and pull through all loops, yarn over, insert and pull through all loops, and finally the last stitch for the first row, and you pull through. So you are going to chain 1 and you move on to our second row, doing half double crochets all through, the same way that you have done for the first row. Let's meet at the end. We are getting to the end of the second row, and this is the part whereby we are going to introduce the second color. So in our last chain space, you insert, you pull through, yarn over, you insert in the very last chain space, but this time round you are going to take the other color. We are going to pick the other color and you are going to pull through in these 3 loops there. So now we have introduced the second color. Using the new color, you have to pull the brown yarn so that you can tighten and secure. I usually like tying. You can tie so that you make sure that it is completely secure. So I'm just going to tie a knot like that, and then I'm going to proceed to the next row using this other color. So chain 1 and turn your work. You are going to make 2 rows of this color, of this new color. So insert and pull through 3, yarn over, insert and pull through, yarn over, insert and pull through, half double crochet. So you're going to move with that same pattern up to the end of this row, and then you're going to come back with the same pattern up to the end of this row. So let us meet at this end. This is the end of the second row in this color, and you want to change to back to the brown color. So after making your very last stitch, you're going to pull through using the brown color, this other color. So you have to pull through with brown. So pull through with brown, and then you tighten to make sure that your stitch is secure. Yeah, so we're going to chain 1. We chain 1, and then we turn our work and we move to row 5. So we are going to continue with that same pattern until we get the length that we require. Remember, this is the back panel. Now I'm going to continue this same pattern until I get to where we shall need to put the armholes. So we are going to meet at that part where I'm going to be reducing the stitches so that the armholes can come in. After 33 rows, this is what we have. It's turning out beautiful. And now it's time to start working on the armholes. And for the armholes, we are going to count 11 stitches in each side, and then we are going to count 11 stitches in each side, and then you are going to mark using a stitch marker. So we count 11 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and then at this point, this is where we are going to put our stitch marker so that you can mark the end. We're also gonna count 11 stitches on this side. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Then you're going to mark using our stitch marker. We are going to make slip stitches up to where we have our stitch marker, and then we are going to continue with half double crochet all through up to this very end, whereby we are going to finish our first row. For the slip stitch, you don't yarn over, you just insert and then pull through your yarn. You insert and then pull through your yarn. Insert, pull through your yarn. Insert, pull through your yarn. Insert, pull through your yarn. Up to this point whereby we have the first stitch marker. That is how it should turn out to be. Our previous color was brown. We'll have to change so that we can continue with the pattern. So that is how we are going to, at this point, this is where we are going to introduce the other color. Yeah, and we're just going to and then you continue with the row. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, insert, and then pull through all the 3 loops. Yarn over, insert, then pull through all the 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through. Let us meet at this end. We are getting to the end of our first row. Our stitch marker is helping us to know our last stitch. Now we move to the second row. You're going to chain 1, then we turn our work, and then we need to reduce the number of stitches towards the end of the rows. So yarn over, insert, then you're going to pull through just 1 loop so that you have 3 remaining. Yarn over, insert in the next stitch, and now pull through all the 5 loops. Yes, you have reduced the number of stitches. Then you continue normally up to this very end. So we are going to meet at this very end. We have gotten to the end of our first row, and we have to reduce the number of stitches here too, just like we did at the beginning of the row. So we're going to yarn over, insert, and then pull through just 1 loop, such that you have 3 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over, and then insert in our very last chain space, and then since we are changing the color, remember we have a pattern. This is where we are going to introduce the other color, which is brown, and then you are going to use this color to pull through all the 5 loops. Then we pull through. Then you are going to tighten so that we can secure. Then we chain 1 and turn our work. You can tie a knot so that you can secure. I normally love tying a knot so that I'm confident enough that my work is secure. So just tie a knot. Now on to our next row. We need to reduce the number of stitches here. Remember, this is an armhole that you are making. So we are going to chain 1, yarn over, insert in the very first space, pull through once, and such that you have 3 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over, insert in our next space, and then pull through all the 5 loops. We have reduced our chains, and then you are going to continue normally up to the very end. Remember, this is the back panel that you are making. Yeah, so let us meet at this end. We are getting to the end of the row, and in our last 2 chain spaces, that is where we are reducing the number of stitches. So you yarn over, you insert, and then you pull through just 1, such that you have 3 loops remaining on the hook, and then you yarn over and insert in our very last chain space, and then you pull through all the 5 loops, chain 1 and turn your work. We're also going to reduce. You can see the pattern that is coming up, or the row reduction, how it's coming up. We're also going to reduce in this row. We are going to reduce the number of chains in this row and also in the other row. So let us meet at the end of the other white row. This is what we have, and we are not going to reduce our rows anymore. We are going to make 14 other rows, and then our back panel will be done. So let us meet at the end. We are done with the back panel. This is how it looks like. Now working on the front panel, we have gotten to the point whereby we're supposed to put the armholes. Remember, this is a V-neck sweater, so we will have to put a V over here so that the neck can be V-shaped. So the first thing that we're going to do is identify the center of this row. We want to identify the middle part so that we can start making our V, and you are going to mark using our stitch marker. So what you're going to do on your project is that you're just going to identify the middle part. Yeah, so we are going to work with one part, and then you're going to come back and work with the other part. We are going to make double crochets up to the center part, and you will be reducing the inner part of the first half. So we make half double crochets all through. So once we get to the middle part, we're going to remove our stitch marker and make our last stitch before we turn our work. So turn our work. Chain 1, yarn over, insert in the very chain space, then pull through 2 loops in such a manner that you are left with only 2 loops in the hook, yarn over, insert in the next chain space, and then pull through all the 4 loops. By this, we are reducing the number of chains in the inner part. So we are going to continue with the double crochets up to this very end. And you are going to continue reducing the inner part up to the very end. We are done with the first V of the first part. So we are going to make the second part. We're just going to insert the yarn in the next available chain space and just tie a knot. Turn our work. And continue making half double crochets as we are reducing the inner part of the V part. Let us meet at the end. We are done with the front panel, and we can see that the V has already formed. So that is the front panel. So the next step you are going to do is joining it with the back panel. Here's the back panel. You have to make sure that the part with this hanging yarn is going to be the inner part. So we're just going to align it properly so that we can join it. going to take our hook and pass it through 2 chain spaces. Take our yarn, pull through, and then we tie a knot. Then we are going to form slip stitches up to this end. So we take our hook, pull through, we insert in this chain space, then we pull through, insert in the next chain space and pull through, the next chain space and pull through. So this is going to be the inner part of the sweater. Insert and pull through, insert, pull through, and finally to insert and pull through. Then you secure by chaining 1. Then you cut your yarn. So we are going to do the same part to this other part of the sweater. The upper part is now joined. The remaining part is the sides. So we are going to join the sides, this side and this other side, using slip stitches the same way we have done to the shoulder part. Yes, so let us meet once you have joined yours too. We have joined the 2 parts and this is what we have. Now we have to, the only remaining part is to crochet the part that is going to cover the arm and also the V-shaped part. Yes, so let's get into crocheting that part. Chain 6, 2, 5, 6. Then using single crochet, go back, insert, then pull through, insert, pull through, insert, pull through, insert, pull through. Chain 1, turn your work. Then using this back stitch, you insert in the back stitch, you pull through, insert in the back stitch, you pull through. You continue with that same pattern until your part is enough. So this is a ribbed crochet part and we are going to attach it to the neck area using our darning needle. This is where the darning needle comes in. As you can see, I've already attached the other parts to the arms, so this is the only remaining part. So what you're going to do is that you're going to align the part along the neck area and you're going to take your darning needle. You first of all secure the yarn. There, then you're going to take the ribbed part and align it with the neck area, then you join using your darning needle. Once you get to this point, we're just going to attach the two loose ends from the inner part, from the inside. Then you are going to attach the two sides together using your needle. And the sweater is finally done. That is how it turned out to look like. Beautiful, gorgeous.